Yo guys, welcome back to another update. And well, this update is brought to you by Declan Storms. And well, today we will be you know going talking through Invest 94L and Invest 92L. And also we'll be talking about Tropical Storm Lala, Herman, and two potential invests. So right, here we are. So we've got Lala, Herman, another area of interest, and another storm that's behind it right now. It says here, Lala becoming better organized, conditions expected to deteriorate on the big island of Hawaii beginning early Saturday. So it says here, forecast discussion. I just read the warnings out. Lala is forecasted to strengthen and become a hurricane as it approaches the big island of Hawaii on Saturday. A hurricane warning remains in effect for the big island. A tropical storm watch has been issued for Maui County. Tropical storm watches have been issued for Ohio, Kaiu counties. Winds are also expected to be strongest in the areas of the highest terrain. Heavy rainfall associated with Tropical Storm Lala will begin to impact the Big Island, spreading westward across the remainder of the island chain during the weekend. This rainfall may produce life-threatening flooding and mudslides, especially in areas of steep terrain. Large and dangerous waves, especially on the Big Island, are expected this weekend, with the greatest impacts along exposed windward and southern shores. This prolonged period of heavy surf may cause localized coastal flooding and significant beach erosion. So they are hinting of it getting to 65 miles an hour in the next update, then 75, 75, 70, 70, 70, then 75, then 80. Some of the models do have this when it gets past the 120 mark, or the 100 and the 120 hour mark. Some models have this becoming into a Cat 2 or 3, which I hardly doubt it, to be fair, but you don't know. But we also got 92L, which is down to a 10% chance. It's slowly dying as it's heading into the Caribbean, where wind shear is just going to be coming out from the southwest, absolutely destroying this area of interest. As it moves here, wind shear is just going to destroy it. And obviously, it's going to be giving some much needed rainfall to the islands of Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, US and British Virgin Islands, Grenada, Barbados. All these islands here, pretty much all these islands here, you are going to be expecting some rainfall from this system, even when it moves up here as well. You can have some rainfall in Jamaica, Cuba, and obviously like Central America, like Nicaragua, Honduras, Belize, Central America, Cuba, Guatemala, Costa Rica, El Salvador. Places like that don't get rainfall in an El Nino year. But I will show you the track of Lala. This is the track of Lala. Pretty much they have it. So they have it as a hurricane. So there are tropical storm watches in effect. So obviously you got the Big Island, you got Molokai or Molokai, yeah, Molokai, Maui, uh, uh, Oahu, and then there's another island which obviously Honolulu is the capital, so Honolulu does have tropical storm watches and warnings. Big Island's got a hurricane warning, tropical storm warning, tropical storm watch, tropical storm watch. So pretty much, even if the storm's not gonna make, even if it's gonna go like this, you can still expect hurricane and tropical storm watches. No conditions in the Hawaiian Islands. It's not doing any key where it's gonna do that, or it's not doing it's not going to do a Douglas like in 2020 when it went like this and made landfall as a hurricane in Hawaii. But Iniki did this pretty much, formed here and then pretty much did this, or went through the islands like that. Iniki did. But it still impacted Hawaii because this island got hurricane force winds. The Big Island didn't have anything, to be fair, when Iniki passed, because Iniki formed here, turned towards the north, and became a Cat 4 here. Obviously, this had hurricane warnings, tropical storm watches, tropical storm watch, tropical storm watch, so tropical storm warning and watch, should I say. But yeah, this ain't going to do it an E-key. This is not going to do an IOC where it formed here and became a Cat 5 out here, of course, because if it was going to do an IOC, it would have done this. But it's not going to. And I don't see all that hype of this system where people are expecting it to rapidly intensify, become a major hurricane, and hit Hawaii. That's not going to happen. This could be the strongest landfall on Hawaii since 2020, because Hawaii last time they had a hurricane landfall was 2020, but the last time Hawaii had a major hurricane landfall was Iniki, when Iniki went like this and made landfall over that small island. Yes, it may have tracked through that shallow bit of that water, but the eye still made landfall on the very small island of this island of Hawaii. So Iniki came in from like this, pretty much very close to the island. But we have had some intense storms in Hawaii where they moved like that, or some of the storms have moved like this and dissipated. Most of the storms that do move from the eastern Pacific to Hawaii, when they get to Hawaii, they're either remnant lows, or they're even very weak tropical storms. Last time Hawaii got affected by a hurricane was Hone, when Hone became a hurricane here near Hawaii. Bearing in mind though, Hone was here further north, or a little bit further north up here. I'm not sure, but I will show you. 1 second. I'll get up the model runs, and I'll also get up the satellite imagery. Right, so this is currently what Lala looks like right now. Currently on satellite. Well, yeah, I should say. It did look a little bit good earlier on in its recent run. If you bring it back, pretty much, you see the banding features. Obviously you had this bit here. You do have a little bit of spin here. This bit's already covered. You can see still the cirrus clouds being fanned out. That's a little bit of wind shear is impacting this system a little bit. Visible high res does indicate that this system it probably looks a bit better on satellite though. Here we go. Obviously, via satellite imagery, it looks good. Via satellite imagery, obviously, it's near Hawaii, so Hawaii is here. And then, obviously, it's going to be moving towards the south of Hawaii like this. So, you are expecting hurricane warnings in effect for Hawaii. So, there's a hurricane warning for the Big Island, as it's pretty much going to be heading towards the south of Hawaii. But that doesn't mean it can move north and make landfall over Hawaii, which is a big possibility it can. But obviously, this is what it looks like right now. I will show you the aircraft reconnaissance aircraft, which they're flying from the Big Island, Hawaii. Yeah, they're just flying from Hawaii. They just only not long took off. It's the first mission today. Forecast models, obviously, for Lala. Obviously, I will show you the HWRF for Lala. Pretty much, they are expecting it 994, which is what the NAC is expecting it. Well, they've got it 991, but they do have it making up, going a little bit further north, to be honest. The HWRF. 987 millibars, though, which that is a hurricane. That is a hurricane. 994, and obviously it does get down to like the 960s, 968 millibars, which that's at 21.1 degrees north, pretty much. You can see though, the hurricane force winds are more on the northeast and northwestward side, but the strongest winds are on this more kind of side. You can see the strongest winds, which is about here, that purple area. Everywhere else, it is more probably looking more lopsided, where most of like the tropical storm conditions and most of the precipitation up on this side of the storm. This side of the storm, you can still have rainfall and stuff, but obviously not as much like the way as like hurricane like force winds on the southeast and the southwest side and the southern part of the storm. It's only in the northern part and the northeast, the north part, and the northwest part of the system. It does look a little bit sheared, as obviously is probably pushing all the convection up here with the eye still intact, of course. So bearing in mind, this is probably what it will look like on satellite at the moment. Probably very, lopsided. This is probably a Cat 3 or 4 at this point. It's very angular. You have a little bit of inflow band here, which that inflow band is more important. because it's what's giving it the stormy moisture. And you got the small outflow band, which is here, and obviously you got the small little cirrus clouds, which will be up here as well. I will show you the HAVS A model for Lala right now. HAVS A model has it with a massive eye, by the way. Massive eye. And pretty much right now, this is what they pretty much have it as right now on the eye, or on the 12th, I should say. This is Wednesday. This is today, by the way. This is what it will look like. Well, this is what it looks like now, to be fair. That's what it looks like tomorrow. That's at peak, a hurricane. It weakens to a tropical storm. And then it becomes a hurricane again, but with a very massive eye. And at this point, it's 975 millibars. But the eye is extremely massive on the HAVS A. The HAVS B model probably has the eye as the exact we see the satellite will show, will indicate how big the eye actually is. Pretty much, this is probably what it's like at peak. So that's probably the storm at peak. Right. This is the storm at peak. Yes, the southern part here is being sheared, of course, because it will have it's going to have southerly wind shear on it. Obviously still has the info band. You can see the planning areas of the cirrus clouds, which indicates wind shear. You do have some areas of a little convection, but obviously it has a tight inner core. So yeah, this could be a major hurricane as on the 19th of August, to be honest, which is a Wednesday. That's at 15 Zulu, by the way, which is 14 UT, which is 1400 hours UTC, which will be 3 o'clock British summer time, 2 o'clock UTC. So this is going to probably when it's going to be peaking then, and it's still going to be a strong storm after on the 18Z model, but obviously on the 0Z as well. This is when the eye is out probably, so that's probably when it's going to be peaking at that point, probably, and then could peak again at here, and then obviously have its closest approach near the Western Pacific, which will be over here. So the more it moves like this, pretty much is going to be heading into the Western Pacific, but it's probably not going to be moving into the West. It's probably not going to make it into the West Pac. It might just die off, or might just barely make into the Western Pacific, but it's not probably going to reform again. So anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. See you in the next update. Stay safe. If you live on Hawaii, get your hurricane preparedness kits ready right now. It's your last day to get your hurricane preparedness kits ready. So get them ready right now. It only takes one storm to do significant amount of damage, and even rainfall as well. So stay tuned, stay safe, stay blessed, and peace out.